Hello and welcome to Maths with Mr Amison. In this video I will be talking with you about the cosine rule and how to apply that to different problems. If you need a refresher on what the cosine rule is and where it comes from, then please watch this video here or follow the link in the description below. To start off with, I'm going to show you a couple of examples and then I'm going to talk you through them and then you can have a go yourself. So example number 1. Feel free to pause at any time and make notes, that will be useful. Okay, so for this first example, first thing I did is I wrote out the cosine rule because it's useful to note that we are interested in three sides and an angle. When that is the case, we can use the cosine rule to find the missing side opposite the angle or to find the missing angle. Okay, so in this case, we are finding a missing side. This is the cosine rule, where A, B and C in lowercase are the sides, and the capital C is the angle opposite the side C. That's really important. So the angle that we have is the 60 degrees. So I first labelled that capital C. And opposite that angle has to be the length C, because that is in a different place to A and B. It doesn't matter which way round A and B are. This could be B, this could be A, it wouldn't make any difference. But the side C has to be opposite the angle we are interested in. So that's why I labelled it this way round. I know that therefore C is equal to X, A is equal to 3 or 5, and B is equal to 5 or 3. But in my case 3 and 5. So X squared is 3 squared, because that was A, plus 5 squared, because B was 5, minus 2 lots of 3 times 5 cos 60, because the angle was 60. I've written multiplication signs between them so you don't get confused. You can see this same thing with brackets around the 3 and the 5, it just means the exact same thing. Now when I do the powers here and multiply the 2, the 3 and the 5, I end up with 9 plus 25 minus 30. Now this cos 60 is equal to a half, which you should know from your exact values, but if you don't, then you can type it into your calculator and you get a half. Now 5 cos 60 means 5 times a half. It's worth pointing out that at this point, at this point even before you change this to a half, you can't just do 9 plus 25 take away 30 and then multiply the answer to that by cos 60, because of BIDMAS. We need to do the 30 multiplied by the cos 60 first. So we need to do the 30 multiplied by a half first to get 15. So it's 9 plus 25, which is 34, take away 30 multiplied by a half. Now 30 multiplied by a half was 15, so it's 34 take away 15. Therefore x squared equals 19. If I square root, then I get x is equal to the square root of 19. Alright, so for the next question. There is an angles version of the cosine rule, but it's not really necessary. You can use the same version of the cosine rule to find the missing angle. So let's go through this. Okay. So again I label C first because this is the angle we are interested in. The side C was opposite the angle C, and it doesn't matter which way around I label A and B. So I have 3 squared is equal to 6 squared plus 5 squared minus 2 lots of 5 times 6 or 6 times 5 times cos x. So I end up with 9 is equal to 36 plus 25 minus 60 lots of cos x. Now at this point it's interesting to note that we have minus cos x. So what I can do is add cos x to both sides. Add 60 cos x, to both sides. If I just add cos x, then it doesn't make sense. I'd have minus 59 cos x's here, and I'd have 1 cos x on the left hand side. So I need to add 60 cos x's. So 60 cos x plus 9 is equal to, and when I tidy this up a bit, I get 61. If I then take away 9 from both sides, I get 60 cos x equals 52. Divide both sides by 60 to get cos x is 52/60ths. And then I can do the inverse cos of both sides to find the value of x, which ends up being 29.9, so 3 significant figures. Alright, your turn. See if you can find the value of x for those two questions. Now you've had a chance to have a go, I'm going to show the working out for these. So again, we label this side, this angle as C, which means this length is C, and the A and B doesn't matter which way around. So we have pretty much the same question as the first question, except the only difference is we have 30 degrees instead of 60 degrees. So and that means, because cos 30 is root 3 over 2, we end up with an awkward decimal of 2.83, which we can't really write as a surd except for 34 minus 15 root 3. For the next question, we have this angle we're interested in, so that's angle C. So side C is opposite, A and B are the other two sides. The only difference between this question and this one is that the angle has switched places to up here. Alright, so in this case we have this. So 6 squared is equal to 3 squared plus 5 squared minus 2 lots of 3 times 5 cos x. So we have 36 is equal to 9 plus 25 minus 30 cos x. Then if we add 30 cos x to both sides, we get 30 cos x plus 36, because we have the 36 here, and these add up to make 34, so it equals 34. So 60 cos x is a negative number. Now, until now, you're not used to seeing values of cos as negative, but you can have negative values of cos as long as when you have cos by itself, cos x, you have a number that's between minus 1 and 1, you should be fine. So cos x is minus 2/60ths. If I do the inverse cos of both sides, I then get the value of x to be 91.9 degrees. So here are 6 questions for you to try. Questions 1 through 4 are fairly standard. Question 5 requires you to use quadratics a little bit, and question 6 requires you to use the area of non-right angled triangles to be able to help you answer it. Have a go. So here are the answers to those questions. Question 1 and 2, you're just finding the side C using the cosine rule. Question 3, you're just finding the angle C using the cosine rule. Question 4, it works in the same way as question 3, except you have to halve your answer at the end because you end up with 2x. Question 5, you have to use 2x and x as a and b. You end up with a quadratic equation where you have a power of 2 for x but no linear version of x, so we have quite a nice quadratic which is fairly simple to solve at the end of it. Question 6, you have to use half a b sine c to get the angle in the bottom left corner here. Once you've got that angle, then you can use it with the cosine rule to figure out the missing length x on the top right. Alright, thanks for watching. I hope you found it useful. Bye for now.